Alright. Let's say it's a larger wound. I'm not going to draw over myself and look like a kid. Let's say it's like this right here is pretty gouged down to the bone, bleeding like a sieve. Applied my direct pressure with whatever I have nearby. This happens to be my cravat. And it's still bleeding. Just keep it elevated off the heart. Throw another one on top. Just keep holding it. If that's not working, we're going to go to the next step. It's easier to do on another person. I don't have a mannequin handy like Fitched by Doc normally does. Take time to fix this up real quick, guys. Okay. This is going to be a little hasty done, so mind me. Okay. Applied my second dressing on it. Get my gauze. Okay. It's not that easy to do it on yourself. I'm trying to. Okay, when you're doing this, let's say the laceration was here. You do want to put pressure down over top. That's why we call it direct pressure. Okay, we've wrapped this completely up, used gauze. Do take the time though and check for a pulse. You know, it doesn't have to be the strongest, but you want to have a pulse present in order to keep circulation to the rest of the extremity. You still want your hand later, okay? Keep it elevated above the heart. This is a bony structure, so bending your forearms very slim, but if for some reason it was broken, you want to take the time and splint it. Okay, we've applied the pressure dressing now. We're still bleeding like a sieve. You can go up to your brachial artery and apply some pressure as well. Keep it elevated, apply pressure on your brachial artery or your patient's brachial artery. And what you're going to do is apply enough pressure there just to stop the artery from pumping so much blood to the limb. You're still going to get some blood to the limb, but you're going to slow it down. When you slow it down, the blood loss is going to be minimized. Okay, you get to that point, done this for a couple minutes, it's still bleeding like I said. Give it a minute or two for it to see if it works. Don't get overzealous here, folks. That's not working. You're going to have to go to what is the last resort, and that's a tourniquet. There is some marketed tourniquets out there you can buy, or you can just take the strap, your belt off. This happened just a piece of webbing I had downstairs. I grabbed real quick to simulate this might be off of your pack or your partner's pack. Take a piece of limb. This happens to be one of my spindles from trying to make fire by friction. Alright, so we put that in, and what we're going to do is a twisting motion. We're going to twist this down as tight as we can till the bleeding stops, and then we can wrap this around or take a piece of our tape or another piece of gauze or bandana, whatever we have handy, tie this in place and keep it still so it doesn't get bumped and moved. Once you apply this, do not loosen it, don't remove it, just leave it go, and get that person evacuated out to the hospital as soon as possible. If for some reason where you applied the tourniquet below it, for some reason it's actually, the limb's been severed, no longer in existence. Grab a Ziploc bag or a trash bag, whatever you have, throw that limb in there real quick. If you have some filtered water, dump it on real quick, throw it in there, and go with it. Hopefully they'll be able to reattach that limb. Set that off to the side. So, that would be your worst case scenario. If you don't have gauze with you, which a lot of times I don't keep it with me, I might have other stuff with me. I can just use my bandana for, say, as my pad, and then take my other bandana and wrap it. Or I do keep a couple feet of duct tape with me. In my kit, I have athletic tape. I can wrap that around there just enough to hold this in place if it's a larger wound. Or you may have a piece of elastic bandage you can use as well. Basic wounds. Also, if you can, is whenever you put like a little wound for your bandage, apply some triple antibiotic like a Neosporin to it. That way, you have a better chance of it not getting affected. Also, as soon as you do get out of the woods, if it's something major, try to remember the last time you had your tetanus, because you're going to need a booster. So, keep your hands clean in between the procedures, of course. Let's see, I should have wrote a list of here what I wanted to get touch base on, but a couple things you can do with in the field with yourself, and I keep in my kit. I have a couple baby aspirin. In case myself or somebody else would be having chest pain, you can go ahead and give the person or yourself. These are 81 milligrams of baby aspirin. 4 of these. It thins up the blood just as a precaution. Get stung by a bee and you know you're allergic, or a spider or something, keep some Benadryl, 25 milligram tabs, take one of those. You're having a little bit of itching from a sting from a bee or a jigger, these little capsules here, you snap them, rub them over the site, that will alleviate the pain for you.